Coming up next, 10 high-demand skills that you can learn for free. And I'll teach you how to become more coachable. We'll take your calls and your chats. And it all starts right now. I'm coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville. And you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how to get there. It's all about your purpose. You were created to work. Another way of saying that is you were created to contribute. So we're not preaching workaholism here. We're preaching meaning, significance, because you see that the results of your work matter to others, and thus they matter deeply to you. And so we want to help you get clear on what that work is for you. Where is your contribution zone or your sweet spot? The sweet spot is the intersection of your talent, what you do best, your passion, the work you love to do, and your mission, the results of your work that matter deeply to you. And when you're in that sweet spot, people look at you and they say, you were born for this. Everybody sees it. It looks effortless to them, even though it isn't. And you feel the juice. So let's help you figure out what that is and how to get there. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577 is the toll-free number. You can also submit your question via the chat room next to the video window as you're watching us live here on YouTube. And we'll get to those here on the laptop in a few moments. You can also email the show, ask@kencoleman.com, the website, kencoleman.com, for many free and paid resources. So how about free stuff? Everybody likes the free stuff, don't they? You ever been to a sporting event and all of a sudden the crew comes out and they've got those t-shirt guns or they're throwing t-shirts in the stands? I've seen adults who look very proper all of a sudden turn into a crazed middle schooler, all for a relatively cheap and bad t-shirt. So we love free stuff, don't we? I mean, we all, hey, here's free. Hey, we all stand up and wave our hands and act like crazy people. But here's something you should get excited about that's really worthwhile. 10 in-demand skill courses that are on LinkedIn until the end of August. So hello, audience. You've got a few days. I wish I'd seen this and gotten this information to you sooner, but you can still jump on quickly. And this is going to help you attract job recruiters and get jobs. Now, before I run through the free courses and what those skills are, can I give you all some good news in these COVID times? Ah, yes, I can hear everyone shouting at me, even through their computers. Unemployment is crawling back. Now, I've been giving you updates on this. I think the number's 11.1%, 11.3%, so we're in the low 11s as our latest job report. But if you compare it to last year, we're only 7.4% off of last July's numbers. So July job numbers, July unemployment numbers in 2020 versus July 2019 unemployment numbers, there's a 7.4% difference. Folks, that's not being reported. That is good. That is really good news. I told you that the storm would pass, and it is. All right, here we go. Now, these are on LinkedIn. These are free courses via LinkedIn until the end of August, all right? And so I want to go through the list because these are the top skills that employers are looking for, and you take these free courses. And by the way, this illustrates even if you don't get to the free course, this doesn't require a college education, folks. Here we go. Number 1 is communication. There's a communicating with transparency course. Number 2, business management, business analysis foundations, problem solving techniques, data science, business science foundations, the fundamentals, data storage technologies, storage and data management, technical support, IT help desk for beginners, leadership, the courses, leadership mindsets, project management, the courses, Cert Prep Scrum Master. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds kind of fun. I don't even know if I have the ability, Joe, to be a Scrum Master, but I sure would like to try it one day. Digital Literacy, the course, Microsoft Collaboration, SharePoint, Teams, and Groups. And then the final of the 10, Employee Learning and Development, the course, Creating a Culture of Learning. So, communication, business management, problem solving, data science, data storage technologies, technical support, leadership, project management, digital literacy, employee learning and development. Those are top 10 skills companies are hiring for right now via LinkedIn. And they've got courses until the end of August that will allow you to do this. Now, folks, listen. I got an email on this the other day, and I'm going to share it on the show a little bit later. But you do not have to go to college to be able to make yourself more valuable, more attractive, and make more money. That is a myth. Go to LinkedIn before the end of August right now. Take advantage of those free courses. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. 844-747-2577. Ontario, Canada is where we start off. Joanne joins us there. Joanne, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Couple questions. So I started my own business about 2 years ago, cleaning houses. Now I'm to the point where I'm maxed out with my time. So how do I go about hiring my first employee? Mm-hmm. And how do I know what to pay them, where it's profitable for them and me?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's answer the first question, okay? Then we'll get to the comp. So the first question is, you're about ready. You've been doing this for 2 years, and now you need to replicate yourself as it relates to the actual cleaning. You do not need to replicate yourself on the running of the business. So you're hiring for somebody to do cleaning only. So I just wanted to get you really clear. You, until this thing grows, will have to be the CEO, right? Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Customer Service Representative. Those are the things that you will continue to do as you have been doing. So what you're looking for is someone who is just going to clean houses, because that means more houses, more money for you, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So that answers your first question, correct?
In a sense.
Okay, then ask it differently.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I just ask it differently because I thought that's what I was answering.
Okay, how do I actually go about hiring somebody?
Okay. I thought you were trying to say what am I hiring for?
No. How do I hire? So I've never had to be interviewed. So I have never been in an interview situation. So I'm completely going in dark.
Got it. Okay. Well, let's go back to my answer. So my answer helps. What I've told you so far helps you. Because
absolutely, because that is what I'm looking for. Just
so now
I want to run the business.
That's right. So now that you know what you're looking for, you just put the word out. You put the word out on social media. You tell everybody you know. That's not just close family and friends. That's acquaintances. And maybe you do you find some local job boards. You go to gymnasiums. This is not difficult. You know where to advertise this. You don't have to spend any money on this. Just get the word out.
Okay.
And so you're going to say, I'm looking for somebody who is going to clean houses. All right. Now, when you get to the interview stage, I want you to, before you get to the interview stage, you're just going to simply create, what would the questions be that I need answers to? Just sit down by yourself and go, what do I want to know about this person? So you might say, I want to know that they are an organized and reliable task-driven person. Because a task-driven person is going to move through that house like a machine. But if you hire a Ken Coleman type, I'm not task-driven. I'm ideas guy. I'm highly distracted. I'm going to take twice as long to clean the house as somebody who is a checklist, administrative, task-driven, organized type personality. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you ask yourself, what are the things that I need to know so that I can determine if this person is the right fit? Okay? And so another way to do this is go, what's the perfect person? Who's the perfect person. You just kind of write it out. Well, they're disciplined. They show up on time. And when they're in the home, they're very honest. They're respectful. They have high integrity, high organizational, kind of that operational mindset. Just create the perfect person. When I was a kid, I don't know about Canada, but we had this great toy that they still have. It's called Mr. Potato Head. You remember Mr. Potato Head?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Create your own Mr. Potato Head. I want these ears. I want this mustache, this smile, these eyes. Create the perfect person, and then you interview to fill that. You create an interview a list of questions that allow you to get to that.
Okay.
Make sense?
That makes sense. Yep.
All right, good. And then I'm going to also, I want Madison, I'm going to put you on hold. And Madison, here's what I want to do for Joanne. I want to get her the link to my talk at Entre Leadership, where I call it the intentional interview. And Joanne, this is good for you. This will actually go into a deeper dive for once you figure out the person, that Mr. Potato Head exercise, and the types of questions. I'm going to help you organize it. So let's get her that, either the link to the talk or the notes from the Entre Leadership book, and it'll walk you through in greater detail what I just told you. That's going to be a great resource for you, and all of a sudden you're going to be an interview ace. It's called The Intentional Interview. It's a talk I did for Entre Leadership. All right, so that'll help you. Let's go to Serena next in Indianapolis. Serena, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on?
So at my current job, management's not that great, and I'm extremely frustrated. However, I have an opportunity at this job for a management position. And so my question is, should I stay and try to make a difference and use this position to advance my career in the future, or just kind of cut my losses and leave now?
All right. Would you, if this wasn't a poor management situation and this management position was offered to you, would you even be calling me, or would you just be like, no brainer, I'm jumping in?
I would jump in.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that I like how to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Right. Now, when you step into this management position, if you take it, will you be still underneath the poor management?
Partially, but it looks like I have a little bit more weight than I do now.
Okay, good. So you'll be able to make things better for others for sure, and in some ways for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And it advances you. So yeah. I think this is a yes. I think you do it. And the minute that you feel like you've hit your leadership lid because of the management above you, then you move on. But you've got management experience. So I like this move.
Okay.
Now, is there something I'm missing? Like, is it really crazy toxic to where if you take this management role, even though it's got those pros that we just went through, that the con of it's just so unhealthy and so toxic that you're going to be miserable? Is that the case?
I'd say it's very stressful. I'm in the health field, so when COVID started, it kind of just magnified the lack of communication that the company already struggled with. Yeah. So it's been stressful for these past couple of months. Right,
but I'm saying, can you put up with that with this new management position, or is it going to still be as bad? I felt like you said it was going to be better, and so if it is,
I'm hoping to be better.
Right. Well, if it's not, guess what? You got to decide to leave at some point. But I think you should try it.
Okay.
You know why? It's putting you further down the path. So I'm willing to put up with some crap to be able to get to where I want to go. And I think this does that for you in this season. Correct?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And guess what? You do have a chance to make some change. So try to make the change. Try to make the changes that you can make. You're not necessarily going to be able to make changes above you, but could you influence changes if they see you doing things below them and they go, oh, Serena's making things better. All we're hearing is great stuff from Serena. You might be able to, in fact, I would expect that you will make a mark. The question is, will they receive it and go, oh, we should probably do some of the things that Serena is doing? That is very possible. You can influence up. And I think you take a shot at it. And then if it's just really, really bad, nothing changes, you've got management experience on your resume, and now you're prepared to move on. And that's what I like about this move.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Serena.
Thank you so much.
Are you excited?
I am. I actually am.
All right. There we go. Come on. You're making progress, lady. That's exciting. Yeah. Go, Serena. Go. I'm proud of you. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Coming up, I'm going to teach on the two things you want to focus on in becoming more coachable and why being known as somebody who's coachable is so wildly important. Let's go to the chat room. Tyrese. Oh, the username is Tyrese's arm. I wonder if Tyrese has got really big arms. Fascinating, some of these usernames. He says, I was laid off of my sales job because of COVID. I'm wired for sales, but I'm concerned because the income is unpredictable. Do you know of any stable sales positions I could aim for? Well, you want to look at industries that have products and services that are moving along nicely. Medical sales, when you get into things like prescriptions and pharmaceutical sales, is what I meant to say. I'm not hearing a lot about medical equipment sales. However, I'd look into that, I can tell you this, home sales are at a record right now. So if you want to move into the real estate world, I think that's always a great place where, again, I don't think it's very unpredictable, not when you really get a science and a system that comes together on, hey, I'm building my pipeline and I'm building my influence. So what you're looking for is industries that are really hot right now and then looking for sales positions with those industries. So if this is more of a local focus, and most of the time it is, so I'll keep my answer to the local, you're doing your homework on what are the companies that are in my zip code local area that are doing very, very well. They've not been affected by COVID at all. And that's very easy to figure out pretty quickly by local news, social media, friends and family connections, things of that nature. And then that's what you're looking for, the opportunity to get in and be in a sales situation where you're in a hot industry and it's just all about the hustle and building the pipeline and repeating. So that's what I would do if I were you in that situation. You'll get there. SOBC is the username here. I'm in a management role and I barely do anything besides check in on my team once in a while. What should I do to provide more value to my team and company? Well, start with, instead of checking in on your team, after you check in with your team, why don't you actually roll your sleeves up and help your team? I mean, it sounds to me like you're in a management position. You go, I don't have a whole lot on my plate. And that's not necessarily a company leadership issue. That's your issue. Sounds to me like you're waiting for somebody to go, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. That's not what leadership is. There's always something for somebody like you in a management role, a leadership role. There's always something for you to do. And if you're twiddling your thumbs in between check-ins, that's a you issue. Now, I'm not beating up on you, but I want to shoot you really straight. We should never, ever hear of bored managers. Because even if the higher-ups aren't giving you a bunch of tasks, you have people that you need to serve, people that need your support. So guess what? Next time you check in, go, hey, where are you swamped? Where are you excited about an opportunity that you want to try something? And you throw your expertise, you throw your energy into helping your team, individual by individual by individual, win. That ought to keep you pretty stinking busy. So that's what you need to be doing. Stop the check-ins and start serving and allowing your team to win bigger because of your contribution to them. You do that, you're not going to have any problems. A, being busy, and B, getting promoted. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. All right, I want to teach for a few minutes on one of the 5 qualities that we all need to develop to make ourselves promotable. So, quick review of the 7 stages that I teach that will lead you to working like no one else, that will lead you to truly meaningful work. The 7 stages are get clear. That's where you're getting clear on who you really are and what you were created to do. How do you do that? We look at talent, what you do best. We look at passion, the work you love to engage in. And we look at mission, the results of your work that matter deeply to you. All right, once we're clear, then we look in the marketplace and we find that sweet spot and we find the role and we go, okay, I'm going to go this way. Now we go into stage 2. That's get qualified. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? How much is that going to cost me? How long is that going to take? All right, and when we come up with a plan and we execute on it, now we're qualified. While we're getting qualified, we can begin to walk in stage 3 at the same time. So stage 2 and 3 can be engaged at the same time. Stage 3 is get connected. Connections are the currency to progress. Period. We've all heard the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's why I wrote the book, The Proximity Principle. It says, in order to do what you want to do, you got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. Why? Because the right people plus the right places equals opportunity. There's the formula. Now, as we continue to get connected, opportunities knock on our door, and now it's time to get started, to step in. Get on that first rung of the ladder. If you're new to an industry or you're out of college or you're looking at a big transition in your life, a career switch. So that's when we get started. Stage 5 is get promoted. And that's where I want to spend a little bit of time talking about coachability. There are 5 qualities that all of us in our journey need to be developing. And it starts with assessing ourselves in these 5 areas. I'll list the 5, but I want to focus on coachable. The first one is likability. Are you likable? The second one is coachable. The third one is reliable. The fourth one is adaptable. And the fifth one is honorable. Now, today I want to talk about coachable because there's 2 key areas that we've got to focus on in learning how to be coachable. Because coachable people, they're the ones that do great things. They're the ones that get great opportunities. Because people go, you know what? They may not have it now, but I feel like I can coach them up. All right. So there's 2 things. Number 1 is instruction. Number 2 is correction. So a coachable person is simply a person who receives instruction and correction with a great attitude, and then takes the instruction or the correction and makes improvements. That's my definition. You can define it however you want, but that's pretty simple. So let's talk about instruction. All of us, as we will look to move along in life and get promoted and make progress, there will be times where we must learn something new. It's just that simple. And so you need to be instructed. And then as you are learning, you are taking the instruction, there will be times where you make mistakes and now we need to correct it. And let's also be honest here. Let's not kind of be in a Pollyanna world here. There are times where you're going to make bad decisions with people. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You're going to do something where you got to get called in and the leader goes, hey, you did this. You can't do this. This has got to change. So it is instruction and correction that we all need to become the best version of ourselves. But sadly, a lot of people don't like either one of those. They don't like to be told how to do something. They don't like it. Well, I don't want, I can get it. Just leave me alone. I'll get it. They don't like instruction. They're insecure or they're arrogant. See, the insecure person or the arrogant person is never going to take instruction because the insecure person is going to be like, well, what's wrong with me? Why are you telling me this? And they don't even understand what's happening. They're just being told how to do it. The arrogant person is the know-it-all. I don't need this. I got it. Thanks. I got it. Now, when it comes to correction, why do people resist correction? Well, I think it's, again, a couple of factors. The people that don't like correction are the ones who just hate any kind of contradiction or being confronted. They don't like being told you're wrong, and they don't like the feeling of, oh, you're confronting me. I don't like that. It makes me very uncomfortable. So people who don't like confrontation, they're going to resist correction. And then there's the people that just have so much pride. They're just pig-headed, and they can't be told anything. Can't be told anything at all. They got such a wall up that they're just so defensive that they can't hear anything at all. Now, the first person is kind of afraid of confrontation. They're afraid of the sting of correction. That other person is more just got a wall up because of pain and hurt in their life. And so now they don't even let you get near them. My kids, when I take them in to get shots, they're like that first person. They're not liking it. They're squirming. They're crying. They're trying to get out of it, but they're not going to fight the nurse. They're not going to squirm. They're going to take it. All right? But the other person is that belligerent kid that just throws a fit on you, starts throwing their body all over the place, and it becomes almost impossible. That's really what it boils down to. And so understand this. Let's look at the positive side of this. For those men and women who really receive instruction and correction, it's a much, much prettier outcome. Much more effective outcome. I think of the great athletes who had all this raw talent, and they got with a good program that had good coaching. They knew they had a ton of talent, but they had a vision that was way, way bigger than their ego. And they said, all right, here I am, coach. Coach me up. Instruct me, tell me how you want it done because you've been in this a long time, and I'm going to do it that way. When I screw up and you get in my face, I'm in. I'll listen to what you say, coach, and I'll correct it. These men and women that do this, they're the champions of life. Because here's what happens. A person who begins to understand the importance of being coachable will allow themselves to be vulnerable and be instructed and coached. And then here's what's beautiful about it. Then they begin to crave it. They begin to crave learning because they're not resistant to instruction. They begin to crave correction so that they can be the absolute best as quickly as possible. It becomes a thing they can't get enough of. That's what I want for you folks. I want you to be coachable, not just to be able to be promoted, but to be the best version of yourselves. So embrace instruction, embrace correction, even though it's not fun sometimes. Because the result of embracing instruction and embracing correction is absolute maximization. So let me put the challenge this way. If you say, Ken, I dig the idea of being everything I was created to be the best version of what God created me to be, then you must embrace instruction and correction, because that desired future is not even remotely possible if you aren't coachable. So get with it. And here's my little question for you. Assess yourself. Do you look for instruction? How do you handle when people instruct you? Do you open yourself up to correction? How do you handle it when you get it? We can all get better here. And we're not always going to handle it well, but the fact that we handle it, each ensuing time that we must be instructed, each ensuing time that we must be corrected, we get better at it. And the results get better too. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Let's go to Will, who joins us a long way away in Qatar. I want to make sure I saw that right. Qatar. Will, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Thanks, Ken. Man, you're preaching away there.
I know, right? I'm all fired up today.
No, so I called in about 2 or 3 weeks back, and I spoke with you, And
Yes.
your advice to me, because I had several jobs, 3 to be specific, and had not heard back from any of them yet. And your advice was to chill and keep applying to more jobs. So
Yeah.
I've chilled. I've applied to more. And then no sooner than your book arrived 2 or 3 days ago, and I started reading through it. And by the way, I can hear your voice in all the words on the pages, so it's awesome.
Good.
And then and then lo and behold, I got my first job offer in. However, I feel like there's an obligation to reach out to the other hiring authorities and kind of let them know in full transparency that I have an offer on the table, and I would kindly like an update as to whether I'm still being considered. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, perhaps whether writing an email was the right call, and if, and what I said, what would you say?
Yeah.
And then
okay.
I guess really it's trying to decide between these 3 jobs.
Well, but see, here's the thing, Will. You only got one job to decide on right now. You don't have 3 jobs. You want there to be 3
Correct.
jobs, but you only have one. Am I right?
You're right.
All right. There's an old phrase. How old are you, Will?
34.
34. Have you ever heard the phrase, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush?
Yes, I heard it so many times.
Okay. Am I right that's your situation right now?
Correct.
All right. So before I tell you what I think you should do, based on your question, are you excited about the opportunity that's been offered you? Or are you just kind of like, give me an excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, it didn't even register. You're practically yawning while you read the offer. 10, you're out of your mind. What's the number you're at?
So I'm excited. I was instantly excited that I applied. However, the job is with a new organization, and I'm not sure that they have a clear path forward. So I'm a little nervous about that.
What's your number on that one?
That job is kind of like a 4.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, now, that's why you're in this situation where you're like, okay, I got an offer, but I've got some real concerns. And so now I want to rattle the cage a little bit with the other 2. So I'm always going to prefer a phone call. Have you talked to anybody, and is there a open door to where you could get somebody on the phone because they've talked to you and they've given you their number, or is email the only way?
No, you're dead right. I could call. I'm caught up in that millennial military struggle of just fire another email off.
Don't fire emails. I hate email. Have I been clear enough about that, Joe? Okay, if I haven't been clear, folks, I want to make it clear. I despise email. I despise it. I'm not going to go off on a tangent on that. Why? But I don't like it. But I really don't like it as a form of real important communication. Let me just tell you why, Will. Number 1, when you send an email, you have no control over how that person reads it. They could be in a really crappy part of their day. They could be in a hurry. There's so many things that could be going on. And who among us hasn't written an email that we wrote it this way and somebody read it that way? And it's like, holy cow, how did we lose this in translation? So I hate email for this. So I want you to call them up and get them on the phone. Now we can control tone, humility, hunger. We can control all that. Yes or no, Will?
Yes.
Well, that didn't sound very confident. Which is why you want to send an email. You're scared to have this conversation, aren't you?
I'm scared that I can't control what you just mentioned, the humility, the interest, the eagerness.
Sure.
I feel like I can do that better in an email.
No, that's a cop-out. Will, do you know how to talk to somebody and have a humble attitude when you talk to them?
Yes.
Okay, come on, man. You're overthinking this. So here's the deal. No more. You're thinking too much, and I'm actually giving you more to think about. You need to stop thinking and start acting. Call them up, get them on the phone, and go, hey, I am so grateful that you guys have interviewed me, have enjoyed the process, hoping that it moves forward to something, and that's why I'm calling. Don't want to put you on the spot or pressure you at all, but just wanted you to know I've applied for multiple things, and I've got an offer right now that I am considering, But to be really honest with you, I really like you guys and very intrigued by it. And so before I make a decision, I'm just curious, do you feel like we're moving forward? If not, totally cool. And if you go, well, it's going to be a while, I understand that too. So without putting you in pressure, what insight can you give me? And I would appreciate your thoughts. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, tracking what you're putting down.
Well, all right, then do it. Stop thinking and no emails, for heaven's sakes. Folks, human-to-human interaction is always the win. Now, I'm going to say this because Will gave it to me, and I'm feeling, as Joe would say, I'm feeling froggy today. I'm a little fired up. He said, I'm doing the millennial thing, and I'm choosing email. I'm not going to like poo-poo millennials. I hate when people do that. I'm a Gen Xer, but I hate when people poo-poo millennials as if millennials are different than the rest of us. Let me just share something with you. I don't care if it was the World War II greatest generation or the boomers, my parents, or the Xers, or the millennials, or Gen Z, the mosaics behind them. There are doofuses in every generation. So let's just stop generalizing people. Now, what Will is saying is that even Xers, my generation, and millennials and on down, we are so much more comfortable and used to the text or the email. Now, I'm going to get in trouble here with Mrs. Coleman. I hope she's not watching. My number one pet peeve. We'll be in the car driving, and she's texting away. Who are you texting? My mom. Pick up the phone. Like, to me, I can say more in 2 minutes than you can in 10 minutes of texting. It's the amount of effort we're putting in. They're literally back and forth. They're planning a family vacation. Tons of details. What do you think about this, Ken? What do you think about this? Can we do this? Like, whoa, pick up the phone and put it on speaker, and we'll solve this in a minute. Am I right? Can I please get an amen from you, Joe?
Amen.
Thank you. But so here's the deal. We've gotten so used to what we consider to be, well, it's easier. I'll send a text. I'll send an email. Maybe it's easier. I don't think it is. But here's the point I'm trying to make. It's not as effective. A text or an email will never, hear me folks, ever be as effective as the human one-to-one communication. Look them in the eye. If you can't do a phone call or a Zoom, for heaven's sakes, talk to people. They can read you and you can read them. But if I send an email, they may misread it, and their reply, you may misread it, and the whole thing fell apart because you didn't have the guts to talk to somebody. Come on. And this is my concern with my kids, the mosaics. They know how to look at a screen. They do not know how to look people in the eye. Now, the Coleman kids do, because I piss them off to the point where they just do it because they know I'm just going to be like in their ear if they don't look somebody in the eye. All right. And can I also say, while I'm feeling really froggy, can't wait for the COVID crap to be done so we can shake hands again. Some people didn't like shaking hands ahead of time. I like shaking hands. So if you come to Nashville, we have people watching the show right now. We have people come every day. I come out during the radio program and shake hands, and if you want a fist bump, I don't guilt you. I'll fist bump you. You want an elbow bump? I'll elbow. If you don't want to touch at all, I'm good with that too. But there's something about the human-to-human interaction, and we can't discount it, folks. It's such a game changer, especially when you're trying to stand out and beat the competition. Because I got news for you. The competition is sending the email. The competition is not doing the human-to-human interaction. They're just not. You want to stand out. Act like a human. Madison she don't know what's going on back there. But it just drives me crazy. You want to stand out? Act in a way where people notice you, for crying out loud. And an email is not noticeable behavior. All right. Enough of that. Joe, I think my time's almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.